Robert, we haven't spoken to you since Jameson went on the COVID list. Can you update us on his status?
He's just right now. He's in the whole COVID protocol with regards to symptoms and trying to test back in.
Do you anticipate him being available for the game?
It's day to day. Once he clears symptoms and because he's vaccinated, once he clears symptoms and has two positive or negative tests, he can be back in. So we're just taking it a day at a time.
Robert, is there anyone that you're willing to rule out of the game coming up? Like anyone right now that probably doesn't look like they're going to go?
No, not yet, Connor. I'm sorry.
So that, I guess the flip side of that coin is that just your optimism talking, or is it, you're feeling really good about these guys playing?
That's just talking with Zeph, our trainer. If we had someone to rule out, I'd tell you. I'm not. It's not a hiding game or anything like that. It's just there's hope that a couple of guys can still make it, but we're just not ready to rule anybody out yet.
Robert, is Mackay out of the concussion protocol yet?
Yeah, I believe he'll be officially cleared tomorrow. He's at practice. He's going through everything, and then he'll be officially cleared for game day tomorrow. But he is practicing. So,
Robert, can you, from a head coaching perspective, this is a weird weekend because you had a lot of young players, especially your rookies. They go back to their colleges. They go back home for a 3-day weekend. And with all the COVID protocols in place, can you, A, do you anticipate putting anybody on the COVID list today? And B, is there a little apprehension with over the weekend knowing that's going on?
Well, we've already had everyone's already came back tested, so we've already cleared that hurdle. So we're not anticipating that as of now. There's anytime you travel, there's obviously risk, but I know our guys were very diligent. They've they went through all the different things they needed to go through. Sorry, guys, I ate almonds before I came up here. But I'm not worried about the guys. Like I said, they've already tested back in, so we're anticipating a clean transition.
What you get for eating healthy, Robert?
What's that?
What you get for eating healthy,
That's right.
But Robert, at this point with Jameson, that was just an isolated incident?
It was. I'm not going to talk about how he got it, but it was isolated to him. Didn't have any close contact, so it's strictly for him.
There's one of the guys we haven't talked too much about since he kind of left practice early was Pirine. Do you have any update on him?
He's day to day, hoping that we can have him for the opener.
Robert, when you look at Robbie Anderson, I'm not sure if you ever faced him because he wasn't on the Jets when you played last year. But what stands out to you about Robbie, evaluating him and watching the tape?
He's got tremendous vertical speed. Obviously, you got to know where he is because of his ability to blow the top off the coverage and win one-on-ones, and especially vertically. So he's a very talented young man. He's got a lot of fight in him too. His mindset, he's built the right way, and so he's going to be a definite challenge to deal with.
What challenges are there unique to week one, Robert, in terms of game planning?
There's whatever, just speaking from Carolina's standpoint, they've got stuff from a year ago that they put on tape, but at the same time, as coaches have an off season to work and reevaluate what they've done and watch schemes around the league and try to implement new ideas and new wrinkles to their system. So there's going to be a lot of new things that show up. A lot of respect for Joe Brady and his ability to create different types of schemes and different issue plays, and same thing from the defensive side of the ball. And coming from that college system a year ago and what they've been able to evolve, and they got better as the year went on. They're extremely fast on defense. So it's a challenge just because there's going to be wrinkles that nobody knows about, those unscouted looks, and we just got to play good, sound, disciplined football and do the best we can to defend it and attack it.
Robert, with having like a week and a half since training camp ended, Obviously, you're focused on Carolina. Does that give you guys a little bit of a opportunity to also kind of not maybe game plan, but kind of look at New England for week 2? Does that give you extra time to, to plan basically?
Not really. All our focus right now is on Carolina. Obviously the QCs will stay ahead of it with regards to breaking down tape and organizing cut-ups and doing all that stuff. They're always going to stay a week ahead, but as a coach, you can muddy the two very quickly if you start dipping your pen in the ink that can wait for next week. So it's we'll address New England when we get there. Right now, everything's about Carolina.
Robert, we've talked a lot in camp in the spring about your adjustment to being a head coach. I'm curious from the game planning perspective. In your DC, you probably spent all day Tuesday just coming up with that defensive game plan. What are you going to be doing now, game plan wise? Will you be dipping your hand into the offensive side, or like how are you going to handle the game planning perspective?
We've already started some of it. Obviously, I'm going to lean more into the defensive side of the ball. But sitting in there and just watching plays with LaFleur, it was third down day, and he's just throwing some ideas at me, and just talking from a schematic. Hey, what do you think they're trying to do here? So just being involved as best I can in all 3 phases, and trying to keep everybody with messaging and making sure that we're all focused on what do we need to do to win this game, offensively, defensively, and on special teams. And obviously, I'm always going to lean a little bit more on defense, but being able to go in there and have those interactions with the offense and be able to spend some time with them as they formulate their plans is actually kind of fun for me, to be honest with you. Get to drop a couple of my own.
Robert, one of the biggest matchups for your squad this week will be your corners versus their receivers. Obviously, you guys are young. So what do you have to do to help set them up for success, either from a game plan standpoint?
Well, schematically, I can't tell you all that, DJ, but obviously there's going to be some stuff in there. It's just not the corner's job to go win football games. It's all 11, but there's always going to be little wrinkles in our system to either exploit matchups that we think we have that are favorable to us, and at the same time to keep the quarterback guessing. So that'll all reveal itself on Sunday, and we can probably talk about it on Monday if you want.
The world is at the edge of his seat with this, but who is your starting right tackle?
You know what? So Jared and Eric said, dude, just put it to bed. Just tell them that everybody will see everything on Sunday. So my answer is, based on those two, I'm blaming them. You guys
don't listen to them.
Y'all will see on Sunday.
Under wraps.
Sorry, Rich.
Robert, how is Shaq Lawson? I know you haven't had practice the last couple of days, but how did he look, and what are you expecting from him now that he's in the fold?
We're just in the little bit that we've had, like you could see this dude, when he gets comfortable, is going to bring so much juice and energy to this defense. He is he's a ball of energy, and his relentless style of play, the energy he brings. He plays with effort. He does all of it. So just to have him in there, professional football player who's had a lot of success in this league, to add to the depth of that D-line room is a big plus.
Robert, I know you don't like to make things about you, but the fact is this now is your first game coming up. It is game week. We are here. Are your emotions any different? And kind of your emotions as you await your first NFL game as a
the second part of the question broke up there, Bob, but I feel the same. I'm being honest. Like it's game week, it's preparation as we get closer. Just like being a position coach and a coordinator, my blood starts flowing a little bit faster, just natural. But right now it's all about the players and giving them every opportunity, and all the focus is on them to help them make plays on Sunday. That's most important. And so I really don't think about what it means for me or anything. Everything is about them. And because at the end of the day, they're the ones who are putting on the uniforms. They're the ones inside the white lines. They're the ones that have to execute at a very high level, and it's our job to make sure that they're given every opportunity to do that. So Not to underscore the question, I'm sure I'll be amped as all heck on Sunday, but right now there's a calm and preparation that has to take place.
We'll take a couple more for Coach, a couple more.
Well,
Robert, I don't expect you to tell us who your starting cornerback is either, but have you decided on that? And how do you go about between those young guys figuring out who's going to start on Sunday if you haven't between now and then?
We're rotating the guys during practice. Thought they did a really nice job over the last couple of days, giving them a chance to compete. And again, it's going to be the same thing. Do I have a feeling? I do. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but we'll wait till Sunday.
Hey, Robert, we've all watched Elijah Moore this summer since the moment he got here, excel on the field. Can you describe what you've seen out of his training camp, his first go around here, and kind of how that's pushed your expectations for him as you get ready for the first game?
I don't know if my expectations have changed. What I am very, very impressed with Mark is that he is he is so deliberate in the way he goes about his business. I think I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago that he's kind of like an old soul. He's been here for 5 or 6 years already. We went through practice on Wednesday, Thursday, and introduced some schemes and all that stuff. And it's amazing. Like, he made some mistakes on Wednesday and boom, they were gone on Thursday. And when you have that ability, and especially at such a young age, he's impressive. I mean, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. He's a quick learner. He's always trying to find an edge. And so we're excited to see him go through it. Like I said, my expectations with regards to production hasn't changed, but the expectations of how he approaches things is he's set a bar for sure. And we're just excited to see him grow through the season.
Thanks,
Robert. Not to steal DJ's thunder with another cornerback question here, but when you do settle on a starter outside, how much leeway will you give him if he struggles at all? I mean, because I know you've talked about wanting to stick with 2 guys and have those guys go through the ebbs and flows of a game. So if you go with Eccles or one of these other guys, I mean, how much are you going to give him to endure some of the bumps and bruises?
That's actually a great question. It all depends on the look in his eyes. If it looks like he's under control and he's made a couple of mistakes and he can recapture the moment, then we're going to roll as long as we can. But I've also seen the flip side where they got that glass look in their eye and they're like, holy cow, what the heck's going on? It's going too fast, just to be able to recognize that. But the good thing is with all these guys who are competing for this spot, I mean, they're built the right way. And so we're anticipating a guy who's going to go in there and fight his tail off, work through any mistakes he may or may not have, and finish the game.
Robert, now that the opener is just 6 days away, I know you've been impressed with Zach Wilson's mental approach all summer. How is he handling the hype? There's former players throwing around Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers comparisons. I'm sure somewhere he hears that. Is he still staying pretty even keeled, or is there any nerves or anything creeping in?
It's I think the league, however he's handling it, and he's going to answer it the right way. We watch him and we try to see if he changes his process, see if he changes his day-to-day operations, which he hasn't. He's been the same every single day. But the league has a funny way of humbling everybody, and I think with the first Wednesday meeting, I was like, wow, man, this is what a game plan's like, and it's like, let's go. And so for him, it was like, all right, and it's kicked him into another gear. So the league will handle that itself, just in the way it operates from a day-to-day business, but I think he's built the right way. I think he has aspirations to be one of the best this league's ever had. And I think he understands the process that it takes to get to that point. So, and thankfully he had the first couple of weeks where everybody was hitting the panic button on a couple of bad practices. So he's seen the other side of it too. So I think that has helped him with perspective also.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.